Hi, my name's Laura Batante. This is My Two Bits, and today I have a cute paper penguin Christmas ornament for you to make. And so it's best if we go over the materials first, so let's do that. For materials, you're going to need cardstock. You're going to need black and white and some shade of orange or yellow for his feet and beak. You are going to want two different papers for the cardstock, this is, for his little toque. And then you're going to need the template, which is right there in the video notes, so you can download that. We've also got glue and paper, and I have a hole punch, which I've used for his pom-pom on his hat. Now, if you can't source out pom-poms for the snowballs, then you could of course use a hole punch for to make the snowballs, and that would be fine as well. If you'd like to add a little bit of dimension to his feet, you could use some pop dots. And then I always recommend, particularly if you've got younger kids doing the crafting, to attach the template onto the cardstock with some paper clips, and that just holds it in place, makes it a little easier for cutting. And let's see, did I miss anything? I usually do. A hole punch to punch a little hole, and then some thread for hanging. And then I use, if you've done other crafts with me, then you know I use a small hole punch to do these eyes, but a Sharpie will work easily just as well, or a black gel pen, whatever you have on hand that you can use. And I believe that is it. Fingers crossed. So now we can jump into how to put this little guy together. All right, so just before we jump into the directions, I'd like to take a second and thank you for joining me today and ask you to please give the video a like and subscribe to my channel. That would certainly help me out. Also, I'd like to mention that this does not need to necessarily be a Christmas ornament. It doesn't even have to be for Christmas. Obviously, I've made it for Christmas, but it could easily just be an adorable winter decor item, and you could put a little stand in behind. And I'll show you how to do that at the end of the video. And yeah, he'd also make a really cute gift tag on a present. So lots of options there. And so let's start by cutting out our pieces. Okay, and in terms of gluing him together, just a little hint for those of you who might be doing this with kiddos, use the template. I have what he looks like put together there in the corner. Now obviously for the inside of him, that won't help so much. But when you go to place the hat, it's a little bit helpful to have that also perhaps for the feet, which isn't to say that I want the kiddos to do it exactly like I'm doing it. You know, I really appreciate kids' creativity and how they make things their own. So there you go. But if you want a little guidance like so, then that is why I include it. All right. And now I think for mine, I am going to use foam dots on this one, just because, as I promised, I was going to show you a couple of other ways to use him, and it helps a little if he has a little dimension to his feet. So if you're wondering about the snowball base, it is of course totally optional. I did it because when I placed the snowballs here, I didn't like that I could see through, so that is really the only reason. I just popped them on, glued them on there, and then you couldn't see through, which, I don't know, seemed more snowball-y to me. So your penguin should look pretty much like my penguin at this point. My snowballs are still a little bit loose because the glue hasn't set yet, but if you are at this point and it is all ready to go, Then you want to punch your hole through. You can just use a thumbtack, and then if you use a piece of cardboard in behind, you know, you don't end up scratching your furniture. All right, so I told you that I would show you how else you could use this. This would be the ornament, and this would be as a table decor or a place card. You could easily put a name on there, give him a little whatever in his other hand, or write it on his little toque, whatever you want to do. Anyway, so you need a little bit of a support in behind. So this is a scrap that I had, and this is like 4 centimeters long by about 3 centimeters high, which is like 1.5 inches long by 1.25 high. That part is not super important. Just don't make it so big that you can see it. You know, like shouldn't be sticking out here or up there. And then what you're going to do is score with your X-Acto knife and ruler. And I just went in like, these are inch squares, so this is like a 1/2 inch, and scored a line so that I have the bend. You got to glue it on. And then from the score line out, you want to add a little slope. If you don't, he's going to stand right leg straight up. And this one's okay because I have him propped with the snowballs and his little feet. But if he was just straight, he would tip over. So you don't want that. And if you want him to be more noticeable, you could even put a little bit more slope than what I did here on, so that he would just tip back more. So basically this angle here is how far back he's going to tip. So just go ahead and with your ruler from the score line of the fold, you're just going to do a little whoosh, and there you go. And then you glue that on like so at the back in the middle, and you can see the slight slope there. So I'm going to show you one more thing that you might like to try with this little fella. We're going to have him wrapping a present. Now I would have liked to have done the present in red, and I had a very adorable little red present. However, I don't have enough of the red ribbon, so crises. So we're going to go green. So you want to cut yourself a decent length to work with, because the idea is to kind of wrap him up a bit. And we need to wrap the present first, as you would a regular present. All right, so I have that tied on, and I basically just made sure that the knot is up towards the top. Also, you'll note one side I've left longer than the other. That's just because, excuse me, there's not a ton of room to work here. I mean, if you wrap him up so many times you can't see him, then you sort of lose the cuteness of the, excuse me, you lose the cuteness of the penguin. So you kind of got to decide how you want that to go. So I'm going to use the foam tape. Just again, a little dimension. You don't have to. You could glue it down. You would need to put a fair whack of glue on with the ribbon being there and all. And just pop that like so. I'm going to play around a bit, and then I will show you what I've done. What I did with this fella was I took the long end and I went around, then I wrapped it around his hand twice and attached that with some glue, took the short end and wrapped that up, and there you go. That way you can still see his face. If you get it so crazy, now maybe that's what you want to do. Use half a roll of ribbon and make him like a mummy. Up to you. And so that is that one. Here's the one we made earlier, and the little decor piece. And you could also have him like stringing lights or holding an ornament. You know, do whatever you like. You can make a whole set of penguin ornaments, and I hope you do. And I hope as well that you enjoyed this video today. And if you did, please remember to give the video a like, subscribe to my channel, and check out some of my other Christmas crafts.